In the past few years, I have worked with a lot of women in recurrent bladder infections, and I just felt like I wanted to clearly share the steps that I witness work 100%. So, in traditional Chinese medicine, we have some beautiful herbs that clean out the urinary tract and will clear bacteria as well as everything else that's usually involved with a recurrent bladder infection. It has a lot to do with also like our emotional state and a lot of stress. It has to do with usually pH balance off. And however, I didn't find it to ever be 100% until we started Kangen water. So Kangen water regenerates tissue health. And from what I have experienced in my own body, and then what I know about bacteria infections or bladder infections. So what happens is the bacteria, they kind of like burrow in the bladder and the urinary tract. So it's almost like they're burrowing a hole in you. It's damage to the tissues. And if we're just clearing out the bacteria with antibiotics, whether they're herbal or not, I mean, that's great. We have to do that. You have to clear the bacteria out absolutely with antibiotics, whether they're herbal or not. However, you're still left with tissue damage. And I think that's one of the, I mean, I'm sure that that is one of the biggest factors. That is, I think, why recurrent bladder infections occur. Because what I've witnessed is that once the tissue health gets regenerated and there's no longer like damage to the lining. It's almost like the tissues are healthy again. And as if they're brand new, then that area, it's almost like it starts as day one. It's no longer damaged. So it's no longer a weak point. I think the reason why recurrent ones occur is because when the one happens, we're left with a bit of scar tissue and damage. It's an area of volatility. And then that makes it easier for them to happen again and again. Because I noticed that they seem to keep happening quickly once the one happens. So I think the biggest factor in thoroughly healing your bladder and your urinary tract is drinking Kangen water. Kangen water heals tissue and regenerates tissue. There's some really beautiful videos of seeing there was a gastrointestinal MD who worked with cancer patients of the GI. And so he was showing videos of the entire GI, all the soft tissue with the cancer or with any kind of chronic damage. And then he would put his patients on Kangen water for several months. And then he would show a video of the intestinal lining after that, and you can just see the tissues bright pink again. It's fleshy and healthy. It looks brand new. And there's been a few different videos I've seen with just looking at the cellular structure of somebody after Kangen water. It revitalizes the cells. So I think that that's the factor in if you want to really heal your urinary tract and bladder from anything recurrent, or if there's any inflammation there. I think as women, especially, like if that is a place that you've had inflammation, I really think that it's important to heal it. Um, you don't want it to be an area of volatility. And then yes, you're not going to only do Kangen. You also will need to you can reach out to me if you would like herbal antibiotics or get into your MD and get antibiotics if you're having a bladder infection.